It is, what is it? It's October 1st. I am working on the Sedan. Last weekend on Sunday, we went to Honda Meet Ohio, which was a lot of fun. Always fun going out there. It's fun driving the car on the road. Well, in the race car, in the pouring rain, because we're going to Honda Meet. It's Sunday, it's raining. We got a whole crew behind me. We got a bunch of EG hatches and EG sedans. And we're gonna make our way over to Marysville for the Honda Meet. So I'm pretty excited, except for this rain, but hopefully it stops. Yeah, also, I'm on completely bald race tires, which is always fun in the wet. Yeah, the car is fully loaded up. I got sandbags, I got a canopy, I got a bunch of merch, I got chairs, I got 2 pairs of shoes because I'm gonna be soaked, rain jacket, umbrella. We're gonna try to make the best day that we possibly can. We're gonna try to make the most of it, so. Thank God for the defrost grid. Coming in clutch right now. And a piece of my wiper just flew off, so I lost my wiper. Conditions are pretty sketch, but we're gonna make it. We're about halfway there. Also, shout out to the windows. The car's got windows now. Nothing like cruising in 6th gear, going 65 miles per hour at 4,000 RPM. It's a short transmission. It's always a good excuse to, you know, get the sedan on the street and just, you know, cruise around with some friends. We had a lot of cool cars, you know, Jeremy, Miguel, Roy, Jeremy's girlfriend, forget her name off the top of my head, but yeah, a lot of EGs, man, like 3 EG hatches, 2 EG sedans, pretty badass. And yeah, Honda Meet was fun. I mean, unfortunately, the weather kind of sucked, so I feel like half the cars showed up that were there last year, but you know, still cool to, you know, kind of show up and kind of represent Ohio, because there are a lot of cool Hondas out here, and you know, I think this car is pretty cool. You know, I think a lot of you guys might agree, and I love the fact that its primary purpose is a race car, but I still think it looks badass, and it's pretty cool that it can go to car shows. Yeah, didn't really record much. Tried to record some cars here and there, but I honestly kind of just forgot to record, just because, you know, recording content for YouTube is pretty tough for me, because like I want to be in the moment and I want to like hang out with people, and I don't want to be like carrying a camera and trying to capture everything, because it just stresses me out, you know, and I don't know. Anyway, fun event. But I am now working on the sedan, and as you can tell, got no trailing arms on both sides. Trailing arms off the car. Now, there's a reason for this, because I want to upgrade the spindles. Let me kind of show you guys what I got going on here. These are modified OEM rear trailing arms. So we got the honed gusset plate, we have the reinforcement plate, we have a honed extended roll center correction, and these are my own custom additions to these arms. These are cylinders with a flat washer welded on it, and then it's welded to the backside. So when you bolt this spindle in, it goes through the washer that's welded to this pipe, and this pipe is welded to here. And basically the whole purpose of that is it stiffens the RTA like this, because without these, I've had this area rip out pretty frequently. These just reinforce this whole trailing arm vertically, you know, so like when the car's leaning, You know, that's a lot of force on this rear trailing arm. It's been notched. This was back in the day when I ran two 25 15-inch Hoosiers. It still does a pretty good job clearing, but yeah, you can see some rub marks here. The issue that I've been having, this is a 4x100 spindle, and this is a 5x114 hub. The cheapest way to convert to 5x114 is to actually use the 4x100 parts. You buy an ITR hub, and then you buy this thing. This is a honed slim nut. As you can see, it's really thin. And the reason these are thinner is because the stub that is on this spindle is a lot shorter. So the height of this guy is much shorter than what would you get on a 5x114 knuckle. And what happens is, when you take a 5x114 hub, you can see that there is a decent amount of portion of the bearing that just sits on nothing. Basically, half of the bearing, the race, doesn't have any contact with this spindle. And you can see, it's about 10 to 15 mil of this bearing doesn't have any surface to ride on. These bearings get worn out, and I have to replace them about 750 track miles, which is brutal. That's what, maybe like 3 events that I have to replace these hubs. OEM ITR hubs cost about $250 each, which sucks. Now these specifically, I actually just bought these. These are, I think, NSK or NTN. I think they're NKS or NSK or whatever. So these are a lot cheaper. These were like $100 each. And I was like, you know what, man? I think I'd rather just spend $100 and replace them after 3 events than spend $250 and maybe get a 4th event out of an OEM hub. So it just sucks going through rear hubs that fast, and like, it's pretty obvious, you know, how quickly these wear out. Just doesn't sit on anything, right? So you can see 50% of that outer race doesn't have a surface to ride on. So what's the solution? Unfortunately, it's that. I am going to take parts off the Type R, and I'm going to put it on the race car. And it's not the first time I've done this. And every time I do it, it makes me die a little bit inside. And I think now I'm going to steal the spindles. I'm gonna steal the 5x114 spindles, which are longer than this guy. And I'm gonna put these on the Type R. Now, this setup here from Honed, a 4x100 spindle with the Honed slim nut and an OEM Integra hub, on the street and a few track days a year, I think you'll be fine. You know, I think it's a good setup, it's affordable. But when you get to my situation where you're running massive 18-inch wheels with sticky tires, you know, you're hitting curbs, you're doing 250 track miles in a vent, you know, it's just non-stop abuse. I just don't think that setup cuts it. I mean, you can run it, you're just gonna be swapping hubs. Frankly, I'm tired of it, my wallet's tired of it. I just wanna make this car as robust as possible. So I'm going to use these parts, put those parts. I'm only taking the spindles off. I'm gonna keep the trailing arm with the car, obviously, because this whole trailing arm has been significantly modified, roll center correction, reinforced, clearance, yada yada. And then I'm gonna put those spindles on the Type R with the Home Slim Nut. It'll be fine for the cruising that I do with this car. And honestly, I haven't even driven this car this year because this car needs other things. It sucks, but yeah, let's take those off. Let's put those on these trailing arms and let's go from there. Fun stuff.
So real quick, I just wanted to chime in here because it sounds like I'm trashing Honed products, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I actually love Honed products. I've been running them for years on the hatch, and I have a few products still left on my car. They make fantastic products and they're well engineered. It seems like the issue that I'm having is isolated to my car because there's a lot of other people in grid life, both Time Attack and GLTC, that run almost the same exact setup. Big wheels, 5-lug hub on a 4x100 spindle using this Home Slim Nut, and none of them have these issues like I do. So I think I might have messed up the flatness of the washer is my theory, which is why my bearings are failing prematurely. But regardless, one of the reasons why I loved Honed is I posted this on Instagram when I was doing the work, and they came up with an update to their product almost immediately. They basically machined this spindle spacer, which allows the bearing to basically sit on a surface, which is what I was complaining about earlier. So with this update, I think my issue would have been solved, but I went ahead with the 5-lug swap anyway. And don't worry, I did find another set of 5x114 spindles to put the ITR back to its original condition.
Oh, got some dirt on my face. Yeah, this hurts me just as much as it hurts you guys, don't worry. Taking these spindles off always sucks because you have to use a Torx bit. In this situation, I have a T50, and I do believe that they are all Loctited in from factory as well, which makes them even more difficult to remove. So what I recommend, because you don't want to strip those Torx, because then you got to take the whole knuckle off, or the trailing arm, and you have to drill the bolts out, which sucks. So I'm trying my best to not do that. So I'm going to use some heat. And I'm just going to heat up that bolt, make sure all that Loctite is basically melted. And then I hit it with the breaker bar and hope that I don't strip that head. Disrespecting my own Type R, pretty sad. Now, I know people will probably mention it, why don't I just buy a 5-lug assembly to use for the race car? Well, I tried a few times. The problem is you have to buy the full set, right? You have to buy the whole front suspension, the whole front knuckle, front hub, which I don't need any of that. I don't even use DC hubs on the race car. All I need is the spindle. No one's gonna sell just the spindle, right? So the problem is everybody sells a full kit plus the wheels because they wanna get as much money as they can. So it's like $2,000 to $3,000 just to get a full 5x114 conversion. But I'm gonna keep looking. Freaking torch. I'm gonna keep looking, and eventually when I do find at least a rear setup or a spindle, I'll put it back on this car, put this car back to original form, and these specific spindles will live on the race car, so. And there you go. One extremely rare and expensive spindle. Here is the difference between the two. You can see the difference in height, bearing here. You know, what is that? 15 mil to the top of this surface. Put it on this guy. Oh, it's also way tighter. Oh, look at that. 25 mil to the top of the surface, right? So that's the correct way of doing a 5x114 conversion. This is the honed slim nut, right? And it's got a thin washer because this setup's trying to use as much thread as possible versus an OEM setup, which is so much thicker. Look how much thicker the washer is alone, right? Washers, then you put the nut on there and you can see just how much beefier the OEM setup is. Also, the heat did the trick and I didn't strip any of the Torx heads out. So these little suckers right here, man, I hate these with a passion. These freaking suck. On these guys, I actually converted them to these Allen heads, and these are 12.9 strength, so these are very, very beefy. Probably do that on the Type R as well. Anyway, enough blabbling, let's keep working. So another thing I just noticed, not a huge deal, but it's actually pretty cool discovery. So when you go to 5-lug, 5x114 on these cars, they're offset about 5 millimeter out, right? So the front, you know, the hubs stick out an extra 5 millimeter, which means your wheel sticks out a little bit more. That's why ITR wheels have like a plus 50 offset, is to account for the extra offset that the hubs are pushed out. The rear hubs, same deal, you get an extra 5 mil. But I thought it was in the hub itself. Actually, it's in the spindle. The difference is this spindle thickness right here between my two fingers, that's where the 5 mil comes from, right? So if I measure this, that's about 20 mil. And if I compare it to this, that's about 15 mil. So we're gonna have a little bit more offset on the rear of this car now, which might be a problem with the wheels that I'm running. A little bit more track width in the back, it's not a bad thing. But yeah, I think the wheels are gonna be closer to the fender. I think I'll be all right. Maybe just run a little bit more camber. But anyway, yeah, got these bad boys on. blue Loctite the 4 main bolts, and then this guy right here, this is just the locking nut, so no need for anything there. And then can't forget about my caliper bolts, because you cannot get this bolt out because of the honed bracket. So I gotta make sure I remember to keep that on there. Passenger side rear trailing arm is done. Man, I'm happy. This is gonna be a good upgrade. It's gonna keep my hubs happy for much longer. Time to take off this knuckle and drill that last one out. Damn it! Ah, so close. Now, I gotta deal with the aftermath of this. I gotta get this part out, which will be fun. I'm pretty confident I can drill through the middle of it, but I'm gonna try to grab it with some vice grips, see what happens. All right, vice grips aren't gonna work, so let's drill through the center and go from there. A little bit of a stressful job, because the last thing I wanted to do was completely destroy the threads on one of these hubs that are worth quite a bit of money, or spindles. But yep, it's basically done and ready to go on the race car. Nice. So bolt officially out, and the threads look good. So let's see if this will thread in. There we go. It'll thread in with a little bit of effort. But yeah, anyway, so that's good. Now I'm just going to clean up the threads on the rest of these because I use longer bolts. And let's get that done real quick. So here's a perfect example of an arm that is showing signs of failure, which kind of is very unfortunate because I do not want to make another one, but it looks like I'm gonna have to. But I might be able to make this last for one more event or a few more races. But this is exactly what I was talking about, where the RTA will crack where you bolt this in. Now this has my reinforcement only on the upper and lower, but you can see even with that, I don't know, it's hard to see on the camera, there's still some cracks right here. There's a crack all along here. There's a crack here and here. There's a crack right here that goes all the way up here. And I think there was one more crack. There's a crack down here. So three major cracks on this arm, which sucks. Oh, and there's more cracks I just found. Looks like there's a crack forming right here. And also this whole center section is blown out like crazy. So yeah, this arm pretty much on its way out. Even with all the reinforcements, all the gusset plates, you know, doing these cylinder mods, welding everything together, they still seem to fail. And it's just because, you know, it's a ton of force going through these arms. What I'm probably gonna do with this arm for now is I'm just gonna grind these cracks down. I'm gonna weld it, and then I'm gonna grind it flat so the hub sits on it flat. And then in the off season, I'm gonna make a whole new pair of control or trailing arms. One half-assed repaired trailing arm. Threw a little bit of steel on it just to prevent it from rusting. Once again, this arm's gonna get replaced. Don't really care about making it nice and pretty, but it should last a little bit longer. But yeah, get the hubs on, get them on the car, finish this. Poor car. Poor and Tiger Type bar. Anyway. let's keep on keeping on. Let me clean up because it's an absolute disaster in here. Rear hub's on. Got it staked. Got a little paint mark as well, just to make sure it doesn't slip. And there is zero play in this hub. Normally, there was always a little bit of play, but now it's solid, so that's awesome. I'm way more confident now in the rear hub surviving and not failing on me. It's good to go. So next step is alignment. The next project that I wanted to do, I got two projects actually. Number one is I got a replacement clutch pressure sensor, so I'm gonna swap the bad one out and, you know, try my auto-blip stuff again, make sure it doesn't fault out. And then number two, this car's getting a passenger seat because I'm gonna take the girlfriend out for a rip this weekend. So I'm really excited for that. And also anybody else who wants to ride, I think it would be a lot of fun. What is up? Good evening. Car's pretty much ready to go. We got the rear hubs on last night. So yeah, alignment's done. And also, we got something else in this car. Check it out. We got a passenger seat that just barely fits. I mean, this thing is extremely tight in here. It's so tight, my button pad does not fit. So I'm gonna have to zip tie that down and maybe let the passenger control the buttons. Yeah, it's pretty tight in here. But the cool thing is, this is I think NRG seat rail and a Sparco Evo seat. This I borrowed from my friend Chandler. I did actually get PCI seat rails from V Raceworks, but they did not show up in time, unfortunately. But my friend Chandler, he had the setup, so I borrowed it from him. And then my friend Aaron from Winning Formula, he lent me the belts. It is a tight fit. You know, it just clears my GoPro mount. And it also clears the weight plate. So just barely enough room to the stud here. I could obviously take this out, but I figured if I can get the seat in without doing that, it just saves me a little bit of work. But yeah, so the goal is to take the girlfriend out this weekend, just have fun, and just, you know, enjoy a car that hopefully works. The last thing I have to do is swap the clutch pressure sensor. So we got Haltech 2000 PSI brake / nitrous sensor, but obviously I could use this for the clutch. The clutch, I think it's about like, it gets to like 800 PSI. So I'm gonna swap that, and then I'm gonna get my auto-blip and my no lift shift back, because I really wanna make sure that stuff still works and doesn't give me any more throttle body issues. Anyway, thanks Aaron for lending me the belts. Thanks Chandler for lending me the seat and the rails. Catch you guys at Putnam. Look at that. Putnam Park. Look at this. I got no gears. Just a flat toe back. I got no gear. I was pretty confident I was gonna have zero issues today, and first session out, I got no gears. Quick update. The shifter selector completely disintegrated inside the trans. Looks like it broke. Looks like it broke one of the tooths here. I think what happened, the bolt came loose. I think this bolt came loose, and then everything just kind of fell apart. Luckily, we were able to fish everything out of the transmission, which is good. And I had a spare shifter selector, so we fixed it, and now we got gears again. So ready to go out for session number 2. Didn't miss any time. That was like a 15-minute repair.
hopefully that's the only issue we have today. Next session out, we're gonna get Missy in the car and have some fun. You look so hot. Watch your hair. I'm gonna build up slowly. If you give me a thumbs down, I'll slow down.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah, it's not moving.
Okay. Alright, try not to kick those three boxes.
Missy, look at fly. Oh, you're making that guy look like a bum over there. Holy smokes. Damn.
We're gonna see her reaction, so it's the perfect fucking
I gotta
helmet.
get a picture. This is going to the memory book.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty loud, so I won't hear you.
Okay.
But if you're not cool with something, just give me a thumbs down and I'll slow down.
Okay. There's gonna be other people out,
Yeah.
like near us.
Nah, probably not.
Okay.
Later in the day, we'll go out with other people.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You survived.
Yeah.
You did quite well. You feel nauseous at all?
A little.
A little bit?
Like on certain turns I could feel
Yeah.
like my stomach, but
Huh?
When did you put a passenger seat?
Just for
This
this event.
Oh, I was gonna do
Like literally yesterday. The worst part, you feel fine when you're going 100%, but then when you start slowing down, that's when you get sick.
yeah.
post ride expression. I'm like, are you car sick or did you have fun?
I had fun.
She did great.
I had
I was
fun.
like, I was going fast, so I was like, thumbs up. She's like, thumbs
I was
up. I was like, let's
I was
keep
surprised
going.
you kept asking me. I'm
Yeah.
glad you kept asking me.
That was like 80%, by the way.
Okay. I was wondering. I was fine. It was.
Okay,
Yeah.
of course.
Did you get a camera pointing at Missy?
Oh yeah, there's one right there.
Yeah. It was when there was someone else out. Then I was like,
I could tell.
'cause I
like,
don't know. I don't know
when I
that
got
person.
behind the Miata, you were like, ooh. You were like,
I grabbed the side. I was like,
How you feeling after? Pretty good?
pretty good.
Pretty good? Nauseous yet? No? Good?
A little bit.
How you doing, Senna? You want to ride next? Oh, I'd love to if you could fit in the seat somehow. Car's good. Shifter, selector's fixed. The extra 5mm spindles are causing
A little bit of rubbing. So that's not necessarily ideal. So I'm going to take this wheel off, add a little bit more camber, maybe like 0.3 degrees of camber, just to get this to stop rubbing, and then I'll figure out a solution for the next event. But other than that, car looks good. Missy had a ton of fun. She might sit out for the next one, but let's fix this real quick. It's a lot of chili. Which one you like most, DJ?
So far, number 10.
Yeah, Missy likes. Wait, cookie break. What do you think, Senna? You like whichever one's on the floor, don't you? Yeah, I know. Okay, whoa, excuse me, bud. Yeah, you're acting all cute, but you're not getting any.
How full are you?
Like an 11 out of 10.
I'm pretty full too, but it's a ton of people. There was at least 20 chilies. I think ours is actually pretty good. It's pretty spicy, it's very peppery. We spent a lot of time on it yesterday. We had to find like 3 different types of peppers. But yeah, this is awesome. I always love these events. So shout out to Winning Formula for hosting it. So far a good day. Car's fixed, car's running good. Running pretty good lap times too. So a few more sessions later today, but first I gotta digest.
How fast do you think this thing can go around here?
I can't do it, but 103s.
103s, oh my gosh. Did you guys just put the K in this? Or was it always K?
It's always had that, yeah.
K20, K24?
K20.
That's sick.
Fueling.
Well, this will be fun.
Car's pretty loose. It's hard to drive. Hard to lean on it. But car works, that's all that really matters, so.
So if I slouch down, I can touch the pedals.
What's the problem here, DJ?
I got these little baby legs trying to drive big man car.
Mamma mia, your little Italian, your little Italian baby legs.
My bibbity boppity legs.
We moved your seat up, I think about 1.5 inches.
Yep,
and then you have like layers and layers, and you're also sitting on a layer, and you still can't reach the pedals.
I can reach the brake and the gas, just
yeah, that's all you need.
I'll just get in fourth and drive. Fuck them, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine, even though you have to use sixth here.
Wait, do you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a lot of shifting.
Oh my God. Yeah, so what I'm afraid of is like on the downshift, so like fifth, sixth, fourth. I'm guessing you're probably in fourth?
Yes, so I go 5, 6, and then 5, 4 into turn 1.
And then
you hold 4 the whole way around until you go down to 3, and then you go up to 4. You can keep 4 in the carousel, and then
Okay.
4 all the way around, and then
Okay,
5, 6.
All right. So that
you'll
would
be
be
all
too
right.
bad. I was worried
Yeah.
about like a 6, 5, 4, 3. Like, and I'm like, my little freaking stump leg over here is just like.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm letting DJ drive the car just because I want a second opinion on it, and you're a pretty good driver.
It'll be fun. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're the first person to drive this car besides me.
Tom hasn't driven it?
Oh, Tom has driven it. Just
okay.
kidding.
Oh,
Tom,
he drove it on the oval.
yeah, he drove it on an oval, which it didn't really work right that weekend or that day.
Dude, the oval looked fun though, did it not?
It was pretty fun. It was bouncy. My neck hurt. After like 5 laps, I was like, this is a lot of like.
You could tell if
Neck
Eric starts
work.
doing some oval racing if like the one side of his neck is all
Yeah.
veiny and vascular.
It's like one forearm.
Yeah.
But that's for a different thing. All right. Well, we're currently waiting until 3 o'clock. We got 5 more minutes. I'll do it like grid life. I'll stand in front of you, and instead of giving you the 5, I'll just give you the 1. And then you gotta rush and get
and then I
ready.
gotta panic, put belts on.
Still
I'm
outside
like
the
putting my
car.
glove on as I'm driving out.
But anyway, yeah, car feels good. So we'll see how DJ thinks it is with his short, stumpy ass.
Probably gonna
legs.
drive like a car if I could touch the clutch.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's driving pretty good today. A little bit of a handful.
It's I heard the nose is very good, Eric.
It's a little bit on the nose. I did spin the car today, which is the first time I spun the car in years.
I almost spun a Honda Fit today, so
Yeah,
how much worse could it be?
Yeah, it can't be that one. Anyway.
Pretty good.
Good?
Yeah, I wasn't pushing very hard.
Yeah. You locked up a few times, right? In 7, in the right-hander?
I didn't even notice.
I think it was the rear. It was smoking. But someone was telling me that too.
Gotcha.
Did you
I
go
did
fast?
16.
16.
And then I was catching traffic.
Yeah.
I think this lap 4, I think it would have been a 15.
Yeah.
But I caught a Miata.
Is it hard? It's hard to go fast in this, right?
It's very hard to go fast.
Yeah.
You have to push
It's like you're
so
always
hard.
on the fucking edge.
You have to push so hard to go fast. Also, the front grip, it feels like you're at the limit of it, but then you're not.
You just keep going.
The feedback through the wheel isn't communicating like the grip
it's
very
the
well.
power steering, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you like numb it down a little bit, maybe.
There's a dial to turn it down, but like it still has the same like it's still masked like what the
Yeah,
front tires
gotcha.
are
Okay.
doing.
Because I overshot the corner a little bit.
I think it was just rear because this track always I always lock up rear at this track.
What'd you bring to this awesome track day? Hold on, let's just see what kind of cars we got. We got a bunch of like Miatas, Type Rs, Porsches. On the other side, we have GLTC Civic, Corvettes, Caymans. DJ, what'd you bring?
I brought my Chevy Bolt on my EV tires. You know, we did that lead follow. Everyone was okay. Everyone was driving around slowly. I was at the limit of adhesion.
Nice.
That's all she had.
Well, I'll let you guys know first, I'm not on the podium. So, I think that suggests the legitimacy of our ballot system. All right, second place, Chili number 10.
Yo, right here.
All right, first place, winning for
What's up, bub?
Chili Champ. This guy's gonna have an ego. I don't even know. Here's Chili number 18.
Let's go.
Got my vote.